Revenge is wrong until you meet the person who deserves it. That line used to sound like some over-the-top movie quote to me, but life broke it down so real that even now I can feel the weight of it sitting in my chest. He didn't come into my life as an enemy. He came in as one of my own, someone I trusted with my flaws, my dreams, even the quiet parts of me I didn't show anyone, and I honestly thought he'd get it. But instead of understanding me, he figured using me was easier, and slowly his moves changed. First the subtle disrespect, little jokes that cut too deep, then taking credit for my grind, and eventually clowning my name in public like I wasn't even human, just a tool he could toss once the job was done. At first I let it slide, kept telling myself maybe I was too sensitive, maybe that's just how friendships work, maybe you gotta bend a little to keep people around. But when bending becomes a habit and standing up for yourself gets labeled as attitude, something inside you starts cracking, and every night I'd lie there wondering if I was the problem, if my value only existed as long as I stayed quiet. And looking back, my silence just made him bolder. The day he straight up blamed me in front of everyone for his own mess, trying to look like the hero while throwing me under the bus, I didn't even get mad. I felt this cold clarity, like my heart finally told my brain, yeah, we're done. And that's when I realized revenge doesn't always come loud and messy. Sometimes it's calm, clean, and looks a lot like the truth. I didn't plot, didn't spread rumors, didn't turn people against him. I just did one thing. I kept receipts, screenshots, timelines, facts, and when the time came, I laid it all out exactly how it was. No yelling, no drama, and honestly that probably hurt him more, because lies survive on noise, but truth doesn't need to scream to hit hard. For the first time ever, I saw fear on his face, the same fear I'd been carrying for years, and he tried everything to stop it. Old memories, emotional guilt trips, flipping the story to make me look crazy, but none of it worked anymore, because at that point he was just background noise. When the decision finally came down and his image, his power, his whole fake setup started falling apart, people looked at me and said, "Revenge is wrong," and I almost laughed, because they never saw the nights I spent fighting to keep my self-respect, never felt what it's like to slowly sell pieces of yourself just to keep the peace. I agree, revenge is wrong when it's about ego, when it's about flexing or dragging someone down to feel tall, but when someone uses your silence, your kindness, and your identity as weapons against you, staying quiet becomes its own kind of crime. And what I did wasn't revenge, it was a boundary, a line I finally drew for myself. Nothing magical happened after that, no celebration, no victory lap, just peace, the kind of peace that only shows up when you stop lying to yourself. And now whenever someone tells me